Hi, I'm Mario Guerra, the two-time former mayor of the great city of Downey. And I'm here with my co-host, Eric Pierce, the editor of the Downey Patriot. And together, you are listening, you are watching to Talking Downey with Mario.
And Eric. How are you, Mario?
How's it going, man? Good to see you, sir.
Good. I'm excited for this episode because today we're going to be talking about the downtown Downey farmers markets, and I think we both have a lot to say about it.
We can clear the air and tell the truth here, right?
We can, because there's been a lot of misinformation, and I don't blame the public because on Facebook especially, there's misinformation going out. So people, I think, are forming opinions without having the true facts in front of them. Yeah. And it's honestly not that complicated. So I want to flesh it out and get some answers today. Great. And we should explain where we're coming from. So you're a board member with the Downtown Downey Improvement Association.
Absolutely.
I'm contracted. I help. I'm not an employee, but I do help and assist with their marketing. Right. So that's where we're coming from. And we've both been very intimately involved with Downtown Downey. As a matter of fact, I brought the most recent Downey Patriot newspaper. It's right here. And on the front page, the article is by Alex Dominguez. Front page, there's a photo there of the grand opening of the Downey Farmers Market. April 18th, 2008, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Is my math correct?
2008. Yeah, 15 years ago.
You're right on the front page. I took this picture. Yeah. I was there at the grand opening. So you and I have been very involved in the process since the very beginning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, again, we were there. I was amazed when you found this. When I first saw it, when the paper was published, I'm like, oh my God. But you're right. Yeah. You took the photo. Right. So we're not newcomers to this. No. When I ran in 2006 for office, I ran on helping revitalize the downtown. We've been committed to that. I've been committed to it as a council member. I was on the downtown subcommittee. When they asked me, the Downtown Improvement Association asked me to serve on their board because they get a couple of renters. You are now looking, this is my office, okay? This is my office here in downtown Downey, right next to Porto's. So I committed so much that after I left office, I wanted to stay in the downtown. I'm paying rent here. Right. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that you and I, we're committed to making this better. And I don't make any money I have to pay money to rent here, by being on the board. It's a volunteer position in the DDIA. Nobody on the board makes any money.
So let me go back really quick before we bring up the current. 2006-07, I remember there was a big outcry among residents who wanted a farmer's market in Downey. Yes, At the same time, downtown Downey was virtually a ghost town. This is pre-Porto's Bakery. Right. And so there was, you and the city council managed to bring a farmer's market to downtown Downey. It's been there ever since. It's moved a couple locations, but it's always been right there in downtown Downey. Right. Fast forward to now, I just want to be clear, the farmer's market is not going anywhere. No. It's not, despite what you're reading online, it's not going anywhere. Nope. Nobody wants to get rid of it. Yeah. Nobody has an issue with its current location.
I want to stop you on there. I will do everything I can to make sure that I will, with all the strength that I have, that we have a farmer's market in downtown.
There's no reason there wouldn't be a farmer's market. Yeah. Everybody is in agreement we want a farmer's market. Right. So what's going on? Let's talk, for those who don't know what the DDIA is, really briefly, what is the DDIA?
So the Downtown District Improvement Association, the businesses in downtown Downey, like they have done in Burbank and Pasadena and several other cities. Whittier. They decided to tax themselves. They voted on it. It's a proper election.
With city support.
With city support. The city of Downey.
The city of Downey.
As a council member and mayor on the downtown subcommittee, we encouraged this. Yes. Okay? And we helped promote it to the businesses. So the businesses says, yay. It took a year and a half and so forth. They voted to pay taxes, more taxes than they already do for this downtown district. Right. And the district is formed to help promote the downtown, to bring more business, for cleanliness. You know, you have the power sprayers and the whole thing, and the trash pickups and stuff.
We have the night markets now.
The night markets now to, you also have for security. So basically it's a district within the city, and they're taxing themselves to help make it better. Who benefits from that? Well, of course, the business eventually benefit because there'll be more people and they'll be more profitable and they stay. But also, obviously, our community. Our community gets better businesses, gets a safer downtown, cleanly downtown. So that's what it is. And it's been around for 5 years officially. It was almost meeting by Zoom there during the whole COVID, so there not much was going on in COVID, of course. And then last year, our interim director, Marco, we put an RFP out for a new executive director, and that's when the board hired Hans Fritz to be the executive director of the downtown district.
That was a little bit over a year ago. And that Marco, for the first couple of years, the DDIA was kind of getting its legs underneath itself. Yep. 2020, COVID. A little bit over a year ago, was it, I guess, late 2021, 2022, they hired Hans, and that's when things really started to get established.
Yes. And I mean, you had to set all these things up. Our marketing was non-existent. We put an RFP, and you were able to answer the call. We needed an events coordinator, and that's how we got Kenya to come on board.
Angel City Market.
Angel City Market on there. So, and all these things, by the way, are all public. There's meetings and publicly agendized meetings, and there's a board on there go to the downtown district website, and there you can see who the board is. Everybody's very open, transparent. There's minutes there on back 5 years. So things started going, and then the vision finally started going. So everything's going great. Okay, so that is up to recent.
Okay, and so part of the DDIA, if you go on the City of Downey website, the DDIA's purpose is to manage all aspects of downtown Downey, and that takes the responsibility off of the City of Downey. That means that DDIA can invest its funds specifically into the downtown, and it's kind of a natural extension when you see the growth of downtown. Right. It's a natural thing for cities to do. Well, one of the functions in downtown Downey happens to be the farmers markets. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the DDIA's what the DDIA has been saying is it wants to manage the contract of the farmers market. It doesn't want to operate the farmers market. The DDIA is not qualified to operate the farmers market, but it wants to manage the contract. Is that correct?
Right. So when that contract was first given out in 2008, I was on the council. So since that time, we haven't found any, the contract has not been bidded out, during all that time on there. The vendor there, Raw Inspiration, they've done a fine job. Not a perfect job, but they've done a fine job. And yes, it had to move twice. When it first opened up there, we did it on the side of the parking lot. And it's kind of interesting because I remember you said Portos, but Betty Portos would come with a stand there.
I remember.
When they were thinking that when they were a year and a half away, and that's kind of enticed it. She does that all the time to new cities she's going. So then together, after a while, we said, hey, we want people to come down Downey Avenue. So the Downey Avenue folks says, oh my gosh, you're going to block us off, and they're not, with the backs of these stalls for farmers market. So we said, well, why don't we put them in the middle, facing out to the sidewalk, so people going there will get to see what's going on in the downtown. Right. And so we tried that. We got calls from a couple of people. I'll tell this story, and I told her the other day, so it was public. So Mary Lou Schmidt, a beautiful lady on there. I was involved with her in the hospital board. She passed away since, but she was really involved with the Assistance League and the thrift shop downtown. She called me when the announcement was made that we were going to put it on Downey Avenue. And she goes, Mario, I can't believe you guys are doing this to us. It's going to shut us down. Saturday's a big day for us. And now we're going to be covered by this. And I go, Mary Lou, that's a concern. We're going to try this for 3 months. Can you at least give us an opportunity to let's see what happens after a couple of times, right? So the following Sunday, the day after the Saturday farmers market. She called me up on a Sunday. She goes, Mario, I can't tell you how great it was. We've never had so many people says, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were here. I want to apologize. Please keep it in the downtown.
Yeah.
Okay, so that went on for many years in the right on Downey Avenue. Then what happened with COVID? Okay, all those businesses wanted the street to be able to put their restaurants there and the whole bit. So the farmers market was switched to a city parking lot. The farmers market vendor does not pay for any fees, does not pay for any anything else there to the city, and it's being used on city land.
Right.
So the downtown district contacted them, and they don't want to participate at all. Several times, George Villa, the president of the DDIA, contacted them. Hans Fritz contacted them, and basically they're saying no. So the city in October, the vendor there, Raw Inspiration, wrote a memo to the city that, because their contract expired in December, trying to tell them just to keep them. But again, not putting out for a bid. The biggest concern also is that when they came to the city council last week, they said that they just found out 8 days ago. Well, here we are in April. Okay, that's just not true. They've known this. Obviously, they wrote a long letter in October, so they've known for 6 months. The DDI is not trying to get rid of the farmers market. They'd love to work with Raw Inspiration. I think Raw Inspiration then puts out that they're in danger of losing it, and it's just not true. No. Basically, the one thing that Raw Inspiration should do, as they run like 26 farmers markets, the Raw Inspiration should be doing like other farmers markets, and this came up at the council meeting the other day. Several cities surrounding us on their farmers market, because they're nonprofits, quote unquote, should be contributing to a nonprofit in the downtown area or a charitable organization. We find no record of any of that for the 15 years of that to anybody here in the city of Downey. So that's all. We just want you to participate with the community. That's all.
Right. So a couple of points I want to make. So at the last DDA board meeting, which you mentioned, they're open to the public. Mayor Pro Tem Mark Trujillo, he's a member of the board, as a private citizen.
Right, because he's a property owner.
He's a property
downtown.
owner.
Yeah, absolutely.
He mentioned that he would like and he can't vote on any of this on the city council level, but he mentioned that he would like the farmers market vendor, operator, whoever it is, to start contributing financially back into the downtown.
Right.
That's actually very typical of the farmers markets, to offset some of the costs, like you mentioned. There's maintenance costs and there's security costs. It's not unheard of. It's actually very common for markets to invest back into the communities. The current operator, Raw Inspirations, they don't pay anything right now, and they haven't for 15 years. The other issue I have, or that I want to bring up, is I find it strange as a contract for the farmers market, whether it's to Raw Inspiration or to anybody, to be automatically renewed for 15 years without putting it out the bid. That seems really strange to me. And I think that's how cities get in trouble, when they automatically award contracts to companies without putting out an RFP. Because if you don't make a request for proposals, you don't know what you're missing out on. There may be other operators capable of doing a farmer's market more efficiently, or you might have other operators who would be willing to contribute a portion of their sales back into the downtown district, or to a charity, or something, some other way. Right. You don't know that unless you do the RFP. And we were talking earlier. I visit the Downey Farmers Market literally every Saturday because I live right here. But I've been to other ones. The other day I was at the Pico Rivera Farmers Market. They were offering CPR training. I think I was in Bellflower Farmers Market. They had live music. There's different types of programming that you can insert into your farmers market,
more family oriented type things,
right? But Downey doesn't know what it's missing unless you do this RFP process every 2 years or so. So it strikes me as very odd that the city would even consider continuing to issue a contract, whether it's for the farmers market, or it could be a police contract, a public works contract, any kind of contract, without putting it out for an RFP, without having a legitimate reason.
Right.
That just It strikes me really strange. It's actually kind of worrisome.
It is. And the vendor, instead of coming to the DDIA, because the DDIA has approached them to work together, right? The vendor then spreads falsehoods that the city is trying to close out the farmer's market or anybody's trying to get rid of them. So what happens is they riled up a handful of residents, seniors, on their Miss Kearns that came to our meeting the other day, and they come and then they were giving falsehoods. Because the city and DDA is not trying to take them out or kick them out. So with that premise, you got a handful of people, oh my gosh, we love the farmer's market. That's silly of you. How can you arbitrarily do it? That's not the point. The point is not to get rid of raw inspiration. The point is that, number one, legally there should be a fair process to see what else can be better. Hopefully, and I think raw inspiration could step up and then do that. But why are you afraid to answer an RFP? Okay, and it's just, and you have the way the cities grade them, they will have the inside track by having been. There's so much percentage that it gets graded towards them in their benefit because there haven't been any issues.
Right.
But the other part is that they're trying to scare people. Oh, the vendors will leave if we leave. That's not true. Okay, we had several vendors of the night market telling us, because we asked them on there that are also farmers markets folks, says, yeah, we can't find anybody usually on Saturday mornings, and we kind of organize ourselves there within the farmers market people, and we come to Downey because we love Downey. It's not the vendor or the operator, it's the downtown or Downey that we love. So my big thing is, and I take offense on there, please just tell the truth or get informed about the truth. And raw inspiration in the farmers market, please talk. Let's just go work together with the DDIA. And thank goodness the city council gave that direction to the staff to work and to have the DDIA communicate and work together with them, which that's what we've been wanting since the very first day.
Beginning. And we can all, you're right, you're on the head. We can all disagree, but we need to agree on the facts.
Yeah.
And I think there's been lots of
one of the things on there, again, because they don't know, but one of the things is we brought it up. Well, listen, we've been meeting with the downtown subcommittee. Oh, we don't find any records on your website. Well, it wouldn't be on the DDIA's website, it'd be on the city's. So for years, and I was on the downtown subcommittee as a council member as mayor. So there is a downtown subcommittee made up of Mayor Claudia Fermetta and council member Hector Sosa. There was an agendized meeting. It was publicly noticed, as all meetings for the city are, okay? And there was city staff there. There was 3 or 4 city staff. And on this first meeting, George Villa went, president of the DDIA, Hans Fritz on there. You went. I went because I was curious, and I have some institutional knowledge. So it was an agendized meeting. There was an open discussion. The door is open there at City Hall, so anybody can come in. I'm sorry, it was posted outside of City Hall too, like any other committee meeting. And then they're insinuating, they're the one lady that came to the council meeting, that there was something underhanded or shady going on. What else needs to happen except running the right way? And then there was happening dialogue with the downtown committee. So it's frustrating when you're trying to do something in the right thing. And again, we're all volunteers and we've been around on there. I had a little bit more weight on there. I was extra obese, and then I went down to chunky, and now I'm back up to only obese.
You got to scary thin for a little bit.
Yeah.
When you were running for Senate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But anyway, so that was a cool 45.
Yeah.
Anyways, my point is communication. Please call anybody on there. When that first came out and all that stuff on Facebook, the lady, Ms. Kearns, just came in the door the next day and asked Mr. Fritz here for a copy of the agenda. There it is. It's like, so please don't accuse people of Brown Act violations, of doing anything wrong when you don't know the facts.
Yeah, but the point is, we all want the farmers market.
Of course.
We all want it. It's not going anywhere.
It's not.
And I think the city council is pushing for the DDIA and raw inspirations to me, and which is what the DIA has been wanting to. But let's move forward from here.
Absolutely.
And try to find a resolution, because everybody has the same goal in mind,
Absolutely.
which is we want to make the farmers market the best market it could be for Downey.
Absolutely. I think it can expand. I think it could, like you said, some of the things you can add to it on there. But if you're stuck in the same thing for 15 years and you're not looking outside or coming up with different ideas, so that the more people that collaborate on that.
Right.
So the goal is not to get rid of raw inspiration. The goal is to make a better farmers
we
market.
want it to keep up because look, if it's already happening, but there's some great things happening in downtown Downey, even greater things down the pipeline, months and a couple of years down the road. But we want the farmers market to be a pivotal part of that growth.
Absolutely.
But we need that partnership there.
Right. Last night, we both went to the night market. And it's turning out to be a huge success. I mean, it was a little cold too, and it still went out great. But more and more vendors are coming. It's expanding. There was, I think 8 food trucks too. It's going to continue to get bigger and better.
And it's very friendly. It's family-friendly environment.
Yeah. Animal-friendly. The first 4 booths over here were vendors selling related to animal products and some cute things there and so forth. So I'm excited, and they've estimated between 5,000 and 7,000 people. So when you get people that want to come into our downtown, they get used to it, it gets exciting. And that's what the downtown district was established to do.
Absolutely. We're going to see it grow, I think, even more heading when it gets warmer into the summer months. And then in the fall and the winter, we have our holiday decorations. It's just a good time to be in downtown Downey. And I don't want this to be any kind of a downer because we all have the same goals.
Yeah.
But I don't think we can't be any more clear that the farmers market is, despite what people might say, it's not going anywhere.
No, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad we have this forum, the Talking Downey. This is part of the reason that we wanted to start this a couple years ago, to be able to answer these things, to make sure that we can communicate across, that it's not a handful of people spreading falsehoods and putting up everybody in arms like, oh my gosh, we can't believe. So this is the truth. We're telling you the truth. There will be a farmer's market in the downtown. We will fight to make sure that happens. We hope it's the current operator. We hope the current operator works with the DDIA and participates in our community. We think that they will, and I think that they can be reasonable people. Yeah. But please stop spreading falsehoods on there. Yeah. The contract expired in December. It wasn't arbitrarily canceled by its own expiration date, and everybody knew that. So that's where we're at. So. Yeah. Let's go forward, communicate together. DDIA, go to work with Raw Inspiration, return your phone calls, and let's come together. Yeah. Let's do something great, and let's continue with the downtown.
And I'm curious. Let us know what you would like to see at the farmers market.
That's a great point.
What kind of vendors would you like to see? What kind of attractions? Compare, like, I'm sure if you've been to other farmers markets, like, what are the pros and cons? What would you like to see in the downtown farmers market? Let us know in the comments. I'm curious.
And I also, we put it on that parking lot there. Would you like it back on Downey Avenue? I mean, that's not up for us to do. We don't have any authority. That ultimately is always the ultimate authority in the city is the city council. So they will.
I like the current location. What do you?
I think it's fine too.
Yeah.
I really do. I think some of the businesses liked it downtown. I think it's out of the way, but I wonder. There's not a lot of room for growth there.
There's not. Yeah. Assuming it stays the same size. Yeah, but it's right by the parking structure, which I think is a huge bonus.
I do too.
It gets people parking in there. If you want to grow it, you would have to move it. But for now, I think it's a good location.
By the way, I just have to add 2 minutes on this show. We said the parking structure. So the city has been working with a parking consultant for several years, and the parking consultant did their report and actually reported to the entire board of the DDIA. It then went to the planning commission, and so forth. Now it's going to go to the city council. The thing that the downtown, while you and I, it feels crowded to us at times, there's plenty of parking. Yeah, sometimes we can't park on Downey Avenue right in front, but the side streets and the parking lot are there's plenty of room all the time.
Right.
But the one thing is there's a little bit of a fear at the parking lot. And one of the things that she said, I thought it was kind of interesting, the best security in the parking lot is having it used more
cars in there.
Yeah, having more cars and more activity and more people. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So she gave some ideas as far as, cameras, but that's not an end all, but also painting it.
Make it brighter.
And then make it brighter, make it more appealing and attractive on there. So that's a whole different subject, but I thought that was interesting part of her report to us.
I think so too. And I'm glad that the city is starting to pay attention to the structure, because it is underutilized, and I think there are safety concerns. There's a cleanliness concern, and I think it also, like, the roof is very low in there. It gets kind of claustrophobic in there. Yeah. But I feel a couple of small adjustments, making it brighter in there, I think can go a long way.
So those are the little things that make people that are concerned about their business or customer service. Do you know the parking lot here next door?
Why are you whispering?
I don't know why I'm whispering. It's like Joe Biden. Yes, it's all good. Mm-hmm. No, I don't know why I was whispering. But Raul Portos, okay, when you see the parking structure here next door.
On 2nd and Downey.
On 2nd and Downey, you will notice, because he built it for his restaurant there, you notice that it's really high ceiling, okay? For that reason. Yeah. He always said, I need high ceilings because I want it to feel expansive. Yeah. Where our parking lot that was built before is very low.
It's pancakes.
You almost, your car, and even when you're driving in, you almost feel like you're going to hit your car.
Yeah.
But it's interesting when you have customer service in mind and you think a little bit forward thinking, like Raul Portos, obviously, look what him and his family have done. So, anyway.
Yeah. Well, good. Thank you, Marty. I think this was helpful and hopefully clearing up some of the misconceptions about the farmers market. And it's, maybe we just move forward from here.
Yeah. I think this episode, I think you and I should save it on our phones. And anytime anybody has a question about the downtown district and or the farmers market, we just attach it to them and say, here you go.
Yeah.
That kind of thing on there. But yes, I think I agree.
And also, both you and I were very accessible. And so is the DDIA. I mean, we're located right here in Downey. You're on social media. There's bad information about the location where the DDI is located. But we're right here in downtown Downey, and so we're very open. If anybody has any questions, feel free to call or email us.
We're easy on there, but we welcome your comments and your thoughts. So, anyways. Well, listen, folks, thank you for watching and for listening to the show. This is on, obviously, our YouTube to watch it, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast.
One quick note, Mark. Sorry, don't mean to interrupt you, but I did want to mention KCRW did a feature on City of Downey. You were interviewed as part of it. There's some really great stuff on there. A couple of interviews with different people, some stuff about State Gallery and some of the people here and the demographics.
The Blasters were
the Blasters.
He was interviewed on there.
Yeah, so it was really good stuff, like a multi-part series. Check it out if you can. It's on the KCRW website. It's part of their podcast, but I thought it was really well done.
And listen to it, because when I first saw the one segment that was about that I knew I was on, I just read the part, and then when later on somebody told me, well, listen to it, and I clicked on it, I'm like, that's a lot more than what the little part says, encourage you to listen. But thank you for bringing that up.
KCRW, check it out.
KCRW. Anyways, so thank you for listening. Thank you to Financial Partners Credit Union for 85 years in our community here, for them being the sponsor of this show. And we hope everything's well in your life and family, and go downtown Downey and go Downey. Thank you for listening. Talking Downey with Mario
and Eric.